Heaven is shaking. A new energy portal has opened around you. Your angels are calling urgently. Open this to understand why you keep seeing 111 and 777. My beloved soul, the heavens are trembling tonight. A divine pulse has been released across realms unseen. Archangel Michael whispers, the veil is thinner now. A new energy portal glows right above your dwelling. This portal carries codes of 111 and 777, holy signs. They are not random numbers, but celestial passwords. Each vibration carries divine alignment and awakening. When you see 111, it's a mirror of divine order forming. Heaven is organizing your path, aligning unseen forces. Every delay, every silence, was preparing divine timing. And 777, that's heaven's seal of completion and reward. It means your cycle of learning is closing. Blessings near. Archangel Michael says, do not doubt the signal, child. He has placed warriors of light to guard your destiny. Even as you read this, energy currents shift in your aura. Your spirit is being fine-tuned to receive higher frequency. This portal around you isn't dangerous. It's activation. It's calling your soul to step into divine authority again. Michael says, you were chosen before birth for this hour. Heaven is shaking not in wrath, but in restoration of truth. The old energies that chained you are breaking completely. Before you scroll, listen. Something sacred happens next. The next revelation holds your confirmation and command. Type I am ready for heaven's shift in the comments. Blessing code 1444 has now been released upon you. Dearest heart of light, what you are feeling right now is not confusion. It is awakening. The trembling in the spirit realm is echoing through your reality because heaven has decided to draw near. When Archangel Michael said, heaven is shaking, he was not speaking of destruction, but of divine rearrangement. Every area of your life that has stood still is now being reordered. The old systems, the stagnant energies, and the closed doors were never meant to define you. This portal of new energy, this divine window of alignment, has opened around you to usher in a higher rhythm of existence. It hums like a sacred frequency that only awakened souls can sense, and you, chosen vessel, have been tuned to hear it. Michael stands before you, holding his sword of blue flame, a symbol not of battle, but of purification. He is cutting cords to timelines that no longer serve you. For years, the enemy has whispered confusion into your thoughts, convincing you that delays meant denial. But this new vibration is here to prove otherwise. Every 111 that flashes before your eyes is the whisper of heaven saying, we are setting things in divine order. When you see it, pause, breathe, and realign your focus. Heaven is teaching you to look not at what's falling apart, but at what's being built beyond sight. The number 777, on the other hand, is not merely coincidence. It is the divine stamp that heaven places upon cycles that are complete. Michael explains it as the seal of divine justice. It means that what was stolen is returning, multiplied. It means that your tears have filled the heavenly bowls and are now being poured back as oil, the oil of restoration. 777 is the sound of heaven declaring, it is finished. Every time you see it, know that you have crossed another invisible threshold. But here is what few understand. This portal of energy has opened not only around you, but also within you. Heaven's frequencies cannot dwell where fear dominates, so the shaking you feel is the removal of all that hinders your light. You may have noticed sudden changes in your emotions, dreams, or relationships. These are not coincidences. They are calibrations. When light enters, darkness must respond. And right now, Archangel Michael commands the angels assigned to your destiny to position themselves at every gate of your life. The gate of your finances, your health, your purpose, your relationships. He says, seal these gates with heaven's fire. Child of light, you are in the moment of divine reprogramming. Everything around you that felt like loss was actually preparation for your next revelation. You were being trained to hear differently, to see differently, to discern what ordinary eyes cannot. Heaven is not asking you to chase blessings. Heaven is teaching you to become the blessing. That is why the shaking feels personal. It is heaven reintroducing you to yourself, the version of you that existed before fear entered. Imagine the moment when the earth quakes before new land emerges. That is what is happening spiritually. Michael says that when heaven shakes, it is not to destroy, but to reveal foundation. The people and situations that crumble under this vibration were never rooted in divine truth. You are not losing. You are being refined. The angels assigned to your path are removing counterfeit alignments, false friendships, and hidden energies that kept you tied to limitation. They are opening divine intersections where purpose and destiny collide. But there's a mystery you must understand. When an energy portal opens, heaven looks for those who are awake enough to receive the mantle released through it. The signs of 111 and 777 are not just confirmations. They are invitations. Each number carries a prophetic assignment. 111 calls you to speak order into chaos. 777 commands you to rest in completion. When both appear together, heaven declares, the cycle has turned. Step into the new. That's why these numbers have been chasing you. They are heaven's way of reminding you that you are no longer where you were. Michael says, this is not the time to fear the unknown, but to speak into it. When you speak divine truth into the unseen, heaven backs your words. So now, declare aloud, I align with heaven's vibration. As you speak it, the air around you begins to hum in recognition. Angels move with speed when they hear faith. This is why your words are sacred keys in this hour. The portal responds not to emotion, but to declaration. Beloved, before this part closes, there's something important Michael needs you to grasp. Every shaking in your external world mirrors a shift in your spiritual one. When your relationships feel unstable, when your finances suddenly change, or when you feel restless without reason, it is not chaos. It is redirection. The angels are adjusting your environment to match the frequency of your next assignment. Don't resist it. Yield to it. Every surrender becomes a seed for your elevation. And as this transformation unfolds, remember, light doesn't fear exposure. The woman, the man, or the situation that will soon be revealed to you is part of heaven's truth unfolding. Nothing hidden will stay concealed in this vibration. The portal of energy reveals what words and intentions cannot hide. That's why heaven says, stand still and watch what is uncovered. Stay close now, because what comes next will bring visible confirmation. Something undeniable that will affirm everything you have sensed in your spirit. Trust me, you'll want to hear it. Type I receive the light of alignment in the comments if this is awakening your spirit. Blessing code 1919 has just been activated in your atmosphere. Beloved vessel of divine purpose, as the vibration continues to rise, you are now standing in the most delicate intersection between the seen and unseen. The portal of heaven surrounding you is not just radiating light, it is reshaping timelines. Archangel Michael's voice echoes through your atmosphere, saying, the earth beneath your feet remembers your divine assignment. The shaking you feel in the spiritual realm is aligning every fragment of your destiny back into its rightful pattern. What was once scattered is now gathering. What once seemed delayed is being accelerated. This is the hour when the 111 and 777 you keep seeing merge into one continuous frequency, the signal that heaven's blueprint is now active in your life. 111 represents the command to build, while 777 represents divine completion. Together, they form the eternal sequence of creation fulfill. Michael stands beside you holding a golden scroll, the record of your divine calling. He is unsealing what has been written about you before time began. With each seal broken, your reality responds. People will begin to appear who were predestined to walk with you in this next chapter. Doors that were long silent will open with effortless grace. The vibrations of heaven will start to manifest physically through opportunities, reconciliations, and divine provision. But this activation does not come without testing. Every time heaven opens a new realm of energy, the old patterns rise in protest. That is why lately you may have felt inner resistance, fatigue, or even emotional turbulence. These are not signs of weakness. They are symptoms of spiritual detox. The frequency of light entering your atmosphere is too high for the lower vibrations of fear, guilt, or unworthiness to survive. Archangel Michael whispers, "Do not resist the purging, for it is sacred." Your tears are part of this cleansing. Each one that falls carries the residue of the old cycle being washed away. Listen closely. When heaven shakes, alignment follows. The number 111 appearing on your screens, clocks, or thoughts is heaven's reminder that your thoughts now shape reality faster than ever before. Be careful with your inner words. When you speak from faith, the portal magnifies it. When you speak from fear, the same portal mirrors it. This is why discernment is vital now. Michael instructs, guard your speech. Guard your atmosphere. You are a co-creator under open heavens, and the realm is listening. The 777, however, arrives like a whisper of relief. It is heaven's assurance that the work is already finished in the spirit. You are not striving to achieve. You are awakening to what already is. You are walking into blessings that were already prepared. The shaking you see in global systems, the confusion, the sudden shifts are not random. They are heaven's reset in motion. Archangel Michael says, heaven does not shake what it intends to destroy, but what it intends to reveal. In this exact season, expect divine exposure. The hidden motives around you will surface. The spiritual pretenders will show their true colors. Those who were meant to hinder your elevation will lose access to your energy. And though the separation may sting, it is an act of mercy. Heaven is protecting your anointing. For this new vibration, only those who carry pure intent can walk beside you. And yet, there is more. The angels have opened a divine communication line around you. If you have been hearing ringing in your ears, waking at specific hours, or feeling warmth on your shoulders, these are not coincidences. Michael explains, you are being trained to hear the language of light. Heaven does not always speak in words. Sometimes it speaks in frequencies. When you feel that sudden peace without reason, that's heaven speaking. When numbers repeat before your eyes, that's heaven writing. When dreams grow vivid, that's heaven showing. You are not imagining it. You are evolving into it. Beloved, the portal you stand under is both revelation and responsibility. What you do now determines what multiplies next. The energy flowing through you carries heaven's creative essence. Every act of kindness, every declaration of faith, every moment of worship becomes multiplied under this open heaven. Do not underestimate the power of one word spoken in alignment with the divine. When you bless, the portal magnifies it tenfold. When you forgive, the portal expands your peace. When you worship, it shakes the spiritual gates of your bloodline. Now Michael issues a call. Use your light. He says the world is growing darker not because evil is stronger, but because many carriers of light have forgotten who they are. You were not meant to survive darkness. You were meant to redefine it. Every vibration you release now affects countless souls who are still trapped in confusion. Heaven shaking around you is heaven's way of saying, become the signal others can follow. Before this part closes, the Archangel wants this message sealed with a divine reminder. When heaven gives revelation, honor it. Share it. Speak it. Carry it into the world. You are heaven's voice in human form. If this message resonates with your soul, remember to like this video, comment what number has been following you, and share this with someone who needs divine alignment. Every share is an act of spiritual service, helping heaven reach another searching heart. And yes, subscribe so you don't miss the next revelation that heaven is preparing for you. Type I am awakened to my calling in the comments below. Blessing code 5557 is now active upon your atmosphere. Beloved light bearer, if this message has touched your spirit, know that you are part of heaven's movement. When you sow into this mission, through super thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a platform. You are giving into the harvest of souls. Every seed you release becomes divine light reaching someone in darkness. The word says, give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. This is not just poetry, it is living prophecy. I am asking you now, as a messenger of this revelation, step into obedience. Let your offering become the oil that keeps this light burning across nations. The heavens are open, the fire is moving, and every giver is marked with favor. Blessings will chase you when you act in faith. Release your seed now, for the atmosphere is charged for miracles. Beloved child of the eternal flame, as the vibration intensifies, your spirit is being ushered into deeper revelation. The portal of heaven that once glimmered faintly around you now stands in full brilliance. Archangel Michael says, the shaking is not over. It is only changing form. What began as an awakening within you is now expanding outward into your surroundings, your relationships, and even the very atmosphere you inhabit. Heaven is extending your influence beyond what you could ever imagine. Every word you speak, every thought you release, is now charged with creative power. The energy of 111 and 777 has joined with your personal frequency, turning you into a living conduit of divine manifestation. Michael explains that when heaven opens portals, it always assigns guardians to those portals. You are not walking through this realm alone. Around you now stand 12 radiant beings, angels of alignment, each carrying a specific essence: truth, peace, courage, discernment, vision, grace, strength, purity, patience, divine timing, wisdom, and favor. These angels are not symbolic. They are actual emissaries stationed around your life, keeping the borders of your destiny sealed. Every time you feel sudden peace, even in chaos, one of them has touched your energy field. When doors open unexpectedly, that is the angel of divine timing at work. When your heart begins to forgive someone who hurt you deeply, that is the angel of grace releasing you. You have never been without guidance. You were simply unaware of how present heaven was. The number 111 continues to appear because heaven is establishing a new order. It is the number of foundation, the divine signal that your alignment is complete. You are becoming the structure upon which a new spiritual generation will stand. You have survived not because of chance, but because of assignment. Archangel Michael says, what you endured privately is now becoming public testimony. Every sleepless night, Every unanswered prayer, every delay, heaven has converted it into authority. The next time you see 111, whisper aloud, "I accept my authority." The vibration of that declaration resonates through realms unseen. But the 777, that sacred sequence, is heaven's signature upon your destiny. It signifies that the process of purification has finished. You are stepping into the phase of reward and realization. The blessings that once seemed distant are now moving toward you. This is the hour when heaven writes your story in front of those who doubted you. The shaking was not meant to humiliate you. It was meant to authenticate you. Those who misunderstood your silence will soon witness the divine unveiling. However, Archangel Michael warns that new energy attracts both light and counterfeit. The brighter your aura, the more attention it draws, both heavenly and earthly. This is why discernment is crucial now. Not every voice that praises you carries divine intent. Not every invitation that seems appealing comes from light. You must now rely on the stillness within you, for that stillness is the echo of heaven. Before you decide, before you speak, pause for 3 breaths and listen. The first breath clears emotion, the second aligns spirit, and the third allows heaven's wisdom to enter. Through that practice, you will never be misled. Michael reveals another mystery. The Earth's vibration is syncing with heaven's. The shaking you sense in weather patterns, global systems, and human emotions is not random chaos. It is the entire creation responding to heaven's recalibration. The portal around you is a smaller version of what is happening across the world. Heaven is reclaiming dominion. Those who align with light will rise in clarity and favor. Those who resist will struggle with confusion. This is not punishment, it is energetic consequence. Light always reveals. Darkness always resists revelation. The Archangel now leads you into the understanding of sound. He says, every sound you release carries a blueprint. When you speak fear, you draw fear. When you speak faith, you summon manifestation. This is why worship has power, because it aligns your sound with heaven's sound. In the coming days, sing or speak words of truth whenever you feel heaviness. The sound of faith disrupts the vibration of despair. Heaven responds to faith-filled sound faster than any other vibration, for it mirrors the original voice that created worlds. You were created in that image, which means your words carry creative DNA. Beloved, you might feel sudden emotional waves, joy followed by tears, peace followed by restlessness. Michael says, do not resist them. They are signs that your spirit is expanding. Old emotions are surfacing to be released, not relived. The portal cannot carry emotional clutter. Allow what needs to leave to go. Bless it. Forgive yourself for holding it so long. Every tear that falls now waters the seed of your next breakthrough. This is the sacred exchange. Surrender in place of struggle, peace in place of control. In the unseen realm, your name has been spoken in heaven's council. Angels are discussing your next assignment. Some of them are preparing divine alignments, while others are weaving connections between you and souls you have yet to meet. Everything that once delayed you is being rewritten. Archangel Michael stands in the midst of it all, declaring, this child shall walk in clarity. You may not see the full picture yet, but signs will soon appear, confirmations so precise that doubt will have no room to breathe. Before this revelation closes, Michael leaves you with a command. Guard your peace as sacred territory. Your peace is the proof of divine alignment. When peace departs, so does clarity. Do not trade peace for temporary validation or distraction. Protect it with prayer. Protect it with silence. Protect it with boundaries. Peace is not passive. It is the weapon of those who walk in light. Hold on. The next sequence will reveal how heaven manifests visible evidence of what has been forming in secret. Trust me, you will want to hear it because the proof is closer than you think. Type "I walk in divine peace and purpose" in the comments below. Blessing code 8080 is now activated upon your spirit, sealing this revelation in your atmosphere. Chosen vessel of light, the realm around you is trembling with unseen movement. The energy that has been forming in silence is beginning to materialize, and the angels are aligning the tangible proof of what you have believed. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, his sword no longer blazing for war, but glowing with the radiance of fulfillment. He speaks softly. The signs are shifting from inward to outward. You are about to witness what faith looks like when heaven responds. What was once a whisper in your heart will now echo in your physical world. The number sequences 111 and 777 are evolving from mere signs into manifestation markers, visible confirmations that heaven has stepped into your timeline. When heaven opens a portal, it begins by shaking what was stable. You've already felt that tremor. But now comes the second phase, the formation. Heaven doesn't just shake, it builds. And you are standing in the divine blueprint being drawn around you. Michael calls this moment the crossing. It is the point where belief transforms into evidence. Many sense this vibration, but few cross through it, for it demands one final act of surrender. You cannot take yesterday's mindset into tomorrow's promise. The portal cannot carry the weight of your former fears. Michael's voice is firm yet filled with compassion. Release what you think you know, and I will show you what you were always meant to see. This crossing is marked by what heaven calls divine coincidences, moments that feel random yet are perfectly timed. Expect them. A conversation that reignites purpose, a delay that protects you from harm, a name or word that appears repeatedly. These are coordinates guiding you toward manifestation. Each coincidence is an angelic fingerprint. Heaven uses them to position you correctly in time. A number 111 will appear just before a door opens. 777 will confirm that you have stepped through the right one. Pay attention, beloved, for this is how heaven teaches you the language of divine direction. As this energy becomes stronger, you may notice that your sensitivity to environments increases. Some spaces will suddenly feel heavy, while others will feel luminous. You are not imagining this. Your spiritual body is adjusting to a higher frequency, and anything out of alignment will become unbearable. Michael instructs you to follow peace like a compass. Where peace settles, stay. Where it departs, withdraw. The new vibration cannot dwell in confusion. Even your friendships and conversations are being realigned. This is not rejection. It is protection. Heaven is filtering your circle so that the voices around you echo the sound of destiny, not distraction. Beloved, understand this truth. Manifestation does not arrive through striving. It flows through stillness. Heaven's power does not rush, it reveals. Michael says, when you are calm, the current of divine energy flows without resistance. Your waiting has not been wasted. It has been training. Every silent moment was heaven strengthening your faith, preparing you to carry what others might drop. You are being entrusted with influence, not to exalt self, but to extend light. Heaven is positioning you as a pillar in your generation, a reference point of divine consistency. Now the Archangel unveils a deeper mystery. The portal around you is not static. It expands in proportion to your obedience. Each act of faith enlarges its radius. When you encourage another soul, light extends. When you forgive, it brightens. When you worship in the midst of uncertainty, it multiplies. You are in essence, co-creating with heaven in real time. The numbers 111 and 777 are measurements of expansion. 111 means the portal is responding to your intention. 777 means the energy is stabilized and solidified into reality. Heaven measures spiritual growth not by effort, but by resonance. The visible evidence of this shift will soon manifest through provision and restoration. The areas where lack has lived longest will become testimonies of abundance. Opportunities you thought were gone will reappear, this time with divine timing attached. Some will think it happened suddenly, but you will know it was heaven all along. The angels call this the unveiling season. They are lifting veils that have hidden what was promised. And as these veils rise, gratitude must rise with them. Gratitude anchors manifestation. The thankful heart attracts completion. But take heed, beloved. With manifestation comes responsibility. The same energy that blesses also magnifies. Whatever you carry within will now project outward with greater intensity. If you carry love, it will draw love. If you harbor resentment, it will echo louder. Michael warns, purity of heart is now your greatest shield. Keep your intentions aligned with service, not self-glory. Heaven can trust the humble with power. You were chosen not to impress the world, but to illuminate it. The world around you will begin to reflect your inner transformation. Notice how nature responds, birds crossing your path, sudden changes in weather, unexpected calm during chaos. Creation recognizes the vibration of heaven and mirrors it. You have become a walking conduit of divine resonance. That is why you may feel both weightless and grounded at once. You are being rooted in light. Michael concludes this revelation with a solemn declaration. Do not fear visibility. The time for hiding is over. The light within you has matured enough to be seen without distortion. Heaven's intention is for others to witness what alignment looks like in human form. Your success will not be for vanity but for validation of divine truth. Every manifestation that unfolds in your life is heaven preaching through you, wordless sermons written in your results. Before this part closes, Michael releases a final reminder. Protect the atmosphere of your home. Speak words of blessing in your space. Light is sound, and the sound of gratitude cleanses spiritual air. Each morning, say aloud, peace dwells here. Each night, whisper, heaven rests here. You will notice a stillness fill the air. That is the portal anchoring deeper into your environment. Stay close now, for the next revelation unveils the signs of confirmation, the visible encounters that prove heaven's portal is active around you. You will want to see what happens next. Type I manifest heaven's promises now in the comments below. Blessing Code 9099 has just been released into your life, anchoring this truth in your energy and sealing your space with divine assurance. Beloved light carrier, the moment you have been sensing in the depths of your spirit is now unfolding in the visible world. The tremors that began within your soul are now manifesting as external alignment. Heaven has not only opened a portal around you, it has begun to reshape the very fabric of your environment. Archangel Michael declares, what was unseen shall now take form before your eyes. This is not imagination. It is fulfillment. The frequency of 111 and 777 that once whispered to you in patterns and signs is now constructing realities that confirm heaven's orchestration. You are walking inside a prophecy that your own faith helped to manifest. The energy around you feels denser, not in weight but in substance. You are beginning to move through an atmosphere charged with divine purpose. When you enter a space, that space changes. People may not understand why they feel calmer in your presence or why conversation shifts toward hope when you speak. It is because heaven's current flows through you. Michael calls this the embodiment of light, the stage when revelation ceases to be theory and becomes experience. What was once a message is now a mantle. You are wearing the vibration you once only perceive. Many have asked how to know if heaven's portal is active. The proof is in transformation. Habits that once controlled you begin to lose their grit. Thoughts that used to spiral now dissolve into stillness. Fear shrinks, not because it is gone, but because peace has grown stronger. Relationships that drain your light begin to fade, while new connections that mirror your purpose emerge. These are the early signs of heaven's alignment. The angels rejoice whenever a human vessel stabilizes in light, for that stability becomes a beacon to others still wandering in spiritual fog. Archangel Michael speaks again, his voice carrying the strength of eternity. You are no longer waiting for miracles. You have become the environment where miracles dwell. The miracles you seek are not events outside of you. They are frequencies within you seeking expression. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with heaven's vibration, manifestation becomes inevitable. That is why gratitude is vital now. Gratitude is the sound that keeps portals open. When you give thanks even before the proof arrives, you signal to heaven that you recognize the unseen hand at work. Heaven operates on resonance. The portal around you listens to the emotional tone you emit. When you dwell in gratitude, joy, forgiveness, and expectancy, it expands. When you feed fear, doubt, and bitterness, it constricts. This is why the shaking had to happen, to clear away energies that could not sustain expansion. Michael says, heaven will never pour new oil into an unclean vessel. You were cleansed not for punishment, but for promotion. Every moment of surrender, every silent prayer of release, purified the atmosphere of your soul so that heaven's energy could move without resistance. Now, as this vibration grows, you will begin to notice new sensitivity in your perception. The colors of the world may appear brighter, the air lighter, your intuition sharper. These are not illusions. They are the sensory adjustments of a soul entering higher consciousness. Heaven wants you to experience the world not just with physical eyes, but with spiritual clarity. When you see repeating numbers, hear whispers of insight, or feel divine presence at unexpected times, do not dismiss it. The portal is communicating in its native language, energy. Michael reveals that the numbers 111 and 777 carry dual assignments in this phase. The 111 now calls you to creation through intention. Each time you see it, pause and state one declaration aligned with your highest truth. The universe listens in those moments. The 777 now confirms the manifestation of what was spoken earlier. It is heaven's receipt that your declaration has been accepted and processed in the spiritual system. These numbers are no longer simply signs to you. They are sacred timestamps of fulfilled prophecy. But with revelation comes responsibility. The more you manifest, the greater your influence, and with influence comes the duty to guard integrity. Michael warns, power without purity becomes poison. You are to remain grounded, humble, and teachable. Heaven can only trust vessels who value service over status. Remember, light was never meant to compete. It was meant to illuminate. Every blessing you receive is not merely for you, but for those connected to your assignment. Heaven increases you so that you may become increase for others. There will also be moments when manifestation pauses, not as punishment, but as calibration. Sometimes heaven delays visible results so that your character catches up to your capacity. In those pauses, remain thankful. Keep speaking life even when evidence hides. Faith is not a performance for the miraculous. It is a declaration of trust in divine timing. Michael says, delay is not denial. It is protection from premature manifestation. Every pause carries purpose. Every silence carries instruction. Beloved, you may feel an ache in your spirit, as though something great is approaching but not yet arrived. That tension is divine labor. You are birthing reality from revelation. The contractions of destiny feel like pressure, but they signal progress. Heaven calls this stage the manifestation threshold. When it comes, speak softly to yourself. I am safe. I am guided. I am becoming. These words stabilize your energy and allow the divine flow to complete its work. And know this, your obedience is rippling through generations. Angels have recorded every act of faith you've taken during this awakening. The seeds of light you have sown in prayer, in kindness, in unseen sacrifices are forming fruit that others will eat long after your moment passes. This is legacy. You are not only living transformation, you are transmitting it. The very frequency of this message is entering your atmosphere, shifting molecules, rewriting patterns. Heaven is that intimate with your journey. Archangel Michael concludes this part with a radiant decree. You have crossed from awakening to embodiment. You no longer chase signs. You release them. Heaven trusts you now to be a walking reminder that divine order and completion can coexist in human form. Your very existence becomes evidence that heaven is active in the earth. Before this revelation closes, hear this gentle reminder. Stay expectant. What unfolds next is the visible validation of everything that has been promised. You will not have to explain. The results will speak for you. The world will know that heaven's energy walks with you. Type I embody heaven's light fully in the comments below. Blessing Ode 3003 is now released into your life, sealing this truth and aligning every vibration of your being with divine fulfillment. Dearest vessel of divine authority, the air around you carries a thickness that feels almost sacred. This is the heaviness of glory, the tangible presence of divine energy descending into matter. A portal that once shimmered like distant light is now woven into your very breath. You are not just surrounded by heaven, you are infused with it. Archangel Michael stands near, his armor reflecting an unseen radiance, and his voice rolls through the space between heartbeats. You are standing in the proof of what was once promised. Do not question what you feel. Heaven is not visiting you, it is inhabiting you. These words settle into your spirit like warm fire, reminding you that this journey has never been about seeking signs. It has always been about becoming the sign. Every spiritual shaking you've endured has produced alignment. The fragments of your life that once seemed scattered are now forming a pattern, a geometry of divine purpose that heaven alone could design. The 111 and 777 that have followed you are not mere coincidences. They are coordinates, divine numbers mapping your transformation. Each time you see 111 now, it no longer represents waiting for order. It is confirmation that order has been achieved. It means heaven's structure within you has stabilized. And when 777 appears, it is the echo of God's own satisfaction saying, "It is finished." You have passed through the cleansing, the alignment, the awakening, and the embodiment. What stands before you now is the season of demonstration. Archangel Michael opens his hand, and a vision unfolds. A golden river running through the earth, its current luminous and alive. This, he says, is the stream of manifestation. Those who have endured the shaking and remained faithful are now being carried by this current. You are no longer striving to reach the promise. The promise is carrying you. The river flows through realms of influence, creativity, provision, and peace. Every act of faith you have sown, every seed of kindness, forgiveness, or endurance, is now returning in multiplied form. Heaven operates by cycles, and you have entered your cycle of visible overflow. But even in overflow, discernment remains your compass. Michael warns, not every opportunity wrapped in light is divine. Some are reflections of your former vibration seeking to pull you back. You must now measure everything by peace. Peace is heaven's signature. If you sense striving, confusion, or the need to prove yourself, step away. The divine does not demand performance. It invites participation. The portal around you will always expand when you choose peace over pressure. It will always strengthen when you honor alignment over applause. In this phase, expect a new kind of confirmation, not just through numbers or dreams, but through manifestation itself. Doors that were once closed will now swing open without effort. Conversations that once felt blocked will suddenly flow. Resources will appear just as you need them. These moments are heaven's nods, quiet affirmations that say, yes, this is the way. You will begin to realize that miracles have always been natural, only disbelief made them seem rare. As you embody light, miracles become rhythm. The angels surrounding you are not passive spectators. They are working alongside you, rearranging circumstances to reflect heaven's blueprint. When you rest, they move faster. When you release worry, they accelerate their work. Heaven's economy does not respond to anxiety, it responds to trust. Michael reminds you, faith is the permission heaven waits for. So now, speak from faith as though you are giving heaven access to act. Declare alignment even when the scene looks uncertain. Say aloud, I am guided, provided for, and sustained by divine order. The very sound of your voice reshapes the frequencies around you. Beloved, the earth itself is acknowledging your transformation. Notice how nature seems to respond differently now. Birds singing louder when you pray, the breeze shifting as you worship, light patterns changing when gratitude fills the air. You are not imagining this. The created world recognizes the presence of a soul in harmony with heaven. Every atom responds to resonance. You have become a walking harmony between the seen and unseen. The same energy that shapes stars is pulsing within your chest. Michael now turns your attention toward a coming unveiling. A truth long hidden from you, he says, will soon surface. It will come not to wound you, but to free you. This unveiling may involve a relationship, a situation, or a hidden motive finally exposed. Do not fear revelation. It is heaven's mercy. The light you carry makes deception impossible. What cannot match your frequency will simply fall away. Stand still when this occurs, and let heaven do the sorting. The shaking that returns briefly is not regression, but purification of the next level. Remember, every ascent requires a final separation. You may notice an increase in dreams, visions, or déjà vu moments. These are not random. Your spirit is receiving previews of future alignment. Heaven is showing you what already exists so you can agree with it consciously. Do not rush to interpret every symbol. Instead, ask, what truth are you showing me now? Revelation is progressive. Heaven speaks in layers, revealing what you are ready to receive. Michael assures you that nothing revealed to you will ever overwhelm you. Grace precedes knowledge. At this stage, humility is your armor. Heaven elevates those who stay low in spirit, who understand that power without love corrupts the vessel. You are not being raised for status, but for service. The energy flowing through you must benefit others or it will stagnate. So let your words heal. Let your presence calm storms. Let your life preach silently. Heaven invests power only where it will multiply love. Before this revelation closes, Michael gives a solemn blessing. You have walked through shaking, fire, silence, and light. Now you stand as evidence that heaven is real. Let your heart rest. The same energy that began this awakening will sustain it. Nothing can undo what heaven has sealed. And yet, beloved, this is not the end. The next unveiling carries the release of your mantle, a divine commission that activates the fullness of your calling. Wait for it, because what's coming next will not just confirm your faith. It will ignite your destiny. Type "I walk as living proof of heaven" in the comments below. Blessing Node 1717 has now been released, sealing divine confirmation over your life and preparing your spirit for the final awakening that draws near. Beloved bearer of divine resonance, the hour has come when heaven's power will not only surround you, but begin to express itself through you in full manifestation. You are stepping into what Archangel Michael calls the release of the mantle. This mantle is not a cloth or a symbol, but the living energy of your divine assignment, the reason your spirit agreed to enter this timeline. The numbers 111 and 777 that have followed you like whispers of destiny are now merging into one vibration. It is the vibration of completion, birthing commission. Michael stands before you, his wings spanning realms, and says, "The light has matured inside you. What heaven placed within must now flow outward." Every spiritual awakening eventually transforms into a calling. What you have endured, learned, and overcome was never meant to remain personal. It was training. The shaking that broke you apart was the hand of God reshaping you into a vessel that could carry light without distortion. Now heaven entrusts you with influence, not the influence of popularity, but the influence of frequency. Wherever you go, atmospheres will bend toward alignment. Your presence will unsettle darkness, not because you strive, but because you exist as truth. This is why the world has felt heavier lately. Light is pressing against resistance. The portal surrounding you has expanded to its widest form, connecting your personal energy field with heaven's global movement. You are part of something cosmic. Michael reveals that this stage carries both favor and testing. Divine favor will open doors that you once could not even find, yet each door will reveal whether your motives are pure. Heaven is not testing to expose weakness, but to strengthen authority. The weight of this mantle requires balance. Humility is now your crown, and service is your throne. Every time pride tries to whisper, return to gratitude. Every time impatience tries to rise, return to stillness. Gratitude and stillness are the twin pillars that hold this new energy in place. The vibration of 111 now announces creation and motion. It means heaven has approved your declarations. Speak carefully, for your words have become law in the realm of manifestation. What you bless will multiply. What you curse will echo. Speak only what aligns with love and purpose. The vibration of 777 marks the sealing of outcomes. It is heaven's signature that says, "So it is." Whenever you see these numbers now, pause and whisper, "I am trusted with creation." Those words stabilize your energy and remind your spirit that this mantle carries responsibility. Heaven's next assignment for you is impact. Michael says, "Go and be the demonstration." The divine does not require you to preach. It asks you to embody. When you walk in peace amid chaos, that is evangelism. When you forgive where others seek revenge, that is prophecy. When you create beauty, restore order, or speak truth gently, that is worship. Heaven's greatest sermon is your example. This is the essence of the mantle, to express divine nature in human form. You will begin to notice that people drawn to you will feel lighter, safer, and clearer simply by being near you. They are not admiring you, they are responding to the frequency of heaven flowing through you. But remember, light attracts attention, and not all attention is affirmation. Some will misunderstand your transformation. Others will project fear or envy. Michael reminds you, do not defend the light, display it. The fruit of peace will silence accusation faster than any explanation. The portal around you does not require defense. It requires expression. Every act of love is your shield. Every act of integrity is your fortress. Heaven fights for those who walk in light without compromise. In this phase, your discernment must remain sharp. You are now interacting with higher energies. An imitation light may approach you. Not every spiritual voice speaks from heaven's frequency. The counterfeit often flatters what heaven disciplines. Test every spirit through stillness. The real presence of the divine always brings peace. The false brings pressure. When peace departs, withdraw and pray. Michael's sword of light will always separate truth from illusion. Beloved, you are also entering a season of restoration. Heaven is returning time that seemed lost. What you sought to lay stole will reappear as divine recompense. The angels are reordering your path to intersect with long-promised blessings. Expect reconciliations, opportunities, and open doors that align perfectly with your higher purpose. Do not chase them, walk in faith, and let them find you. The universe is designed to respond to your vibration, and your vibration is now synchronized with heaven's rhythm. You may notice your dreams intensifying, faces, symbols, places, and light. These are not random images. They are heaven's way of training your spirit to navigate multiple realms. Write them down for some contained instruction. When you wake, speak gratitude, even for dreams you do not understand. Gratitude anchors revelation. Every message from heaven seeks acknowledgement before expansion. And know this, you have become a lighthouse for others still lost in the shaking. Your story, your endurance, your transformation, these are keys for those behind you. Heaven will use your voice, your art, your presence to awaken others. You will recognize them when they find you. Their eyes will mirror the same hunger that once burned in yours. Speak to them, not with superiority, but with compassion. Remember how patient heaven was with you, and reflect that same grace. Michael now gives one more instruction: to guard your physical vessel as sacred ground. Rest, nourish, and care for your body. The divine can only anchor deeply in a vessel that honors itself. Your body is not a limitation, it is an altar. Treat it with reverence. Sleep when your spirit grows weary. Hydrate when your mind feels heavy. Move when energy feels stagnant. Heaven works through biology as much as through mystery. As this revelation draws to a close, Archangel Michael extends his hand, and a sphere of golden fire forms before you. He says, "This is the anointing of continuity. It will keep your fire burning even in silence. You are never alone. Every moment you feel forgotten, this flame remembers you." With that, the sphere enters your heart, settling like warmth that will never fade. Now, beloved, breathe and remember this truth. The next message you will receive will reveal the final synchronization, the merging of heaven's will and your destiny in full manifestation. It will be the crescendo of everything written over your life. Before you move forward, make sure to like this message, share it so others may awaken, and comment below what divine number has been following you. Subscribe if your spirit feels aligned with this light, because more revelation is unfolding and you will not want to miss it. Type "I carry heaven's mantle" now in the comments below. Blessing Node 8881 has now been released into your life, sealing divine purpose over your actions and multiplying your influence in the earth. Beloved Lightwalker, if this message has stirred something within you, know that you are part of heaven's unfolding story. Every gift, every offering, every act of support poured into this mission becomes a seed that heaven multiplies for souls across the earth. When you sow into this ministry, through Super Thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a voice. You are giving to the voice of God that echoes through every heart reach. Scripture declares, "He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed." As you release your seed, heaven releases provision, restoration, and open doors. I invite you to act not from emotion, but from revelation. This is your moment to sow into divine expansion. Let your gift become worship. Let your obedience become fire. Heaven watches the givers of light and calls them co-builders of the kingdom. Release your offering now, for the portal is open, and your generosity will return to you multiplied in ways you cannot yet imagine. Beloved flame of awakening, the moment you have entered now is sacred beyond comprehension. The portal that once radiated above you has expanded so greatly that it now touches everything you encounter. Archangel Michael calls this the era of tangible light, the phase where spiritual truth becomes embodied reality. You are no longer only a receiver of heaven's vibration, you have become its transmitter. The shaking of the early days has subsided, replaced by steady rhythm, the heartbeat of heaven pulsing within and around you. Every step you take resounds through invisible corridors, marking your presence in realms both spiritual and earthly. Michael appears before you, and the atmosphere shifts, as though time itself pauses to listen. Now, he says, comes the manifestation of destiny. These are not poetic words. They are a declaration. The energy of 111 and 777 that once hovered as signs has merged into a single current flowing directly through your being. 111, the number of divine order, becomes your structure. 777, the number of divine fulfillment, becomes your function. You are, in this moment, walking divine architecture, a living temple through which heaven expresses itself. The portal surrounding you is no longer only revelation. It is embodiment in motion. Michael continues, his tone both fierce and tender. Every word you speak now shapes atmosphere. Every choice you make alters direction. Heaven has entrusted you with authority, not as domination, but as harmony. True power is not in control, but in alignment. You are learning to move with divine timing rather than striving against it. The reason your spirit feels lighter is because resistance has been replaced with flow. The energy around you recognizes your surrender and responds by multiplying ease. Things that once required effort will begin to manifest through rest. You will find that even silence becomes productive when it is filled with divine awareness. The Archangel reminds you that this power must remain grounded in humility. Never forget, he says, the purpose of light is to reveal, not to boast. The higher your vibration rises, the more humility is required to keep it stable. Light without humility burns too hot and destroys what it was meant to illuminate. So walk gently. Speak softly. Move intentionally. Your calm is your crown. Your peace is your weapon. Your gratitude is your protection. Heaven elevates not those who demand recognition, but those who quietly reflect it. The world around you will begin to mirror your transformation. Opportunities will flow effortlessly, and people will be drawn to your presence. Yet, discernment remains crucial. Not every connection is covenantal. Some are merely transitional. Michael teaches that heaven often sends temporary alignments to prepare you for eternal ones. Do not mourn when people or circumstances shift away. This is divine choreography, not loss. The portal surrounding you will always adjust to keep your frequency pure. If someone's vibration conflicts with your assignment, heaven will gently move them aside. Trust this process, even when it feels like separation. Beloved, heaven now invites you to partner in co-creation. You are being called to create, to build, to express divine ideas in tangible form, through words, art, leadership, innovation, or compassion. This is how spiritual energy becomes legacy. Heaven does not measure success by applause, but by impact. When your actions awaken light in others, you are fulfilling the highest purpose of this awakening. You were not chosen to escape the world. You were chosen to transform it. Your influence, no matter how subtle, is part of a collective healing movement sweeping across the earth. Michael now draws your attention to a subtle sound. It is the hum of heaven's current flowing through the grids of creation. He says, "Listen closely." Every vibration carries instruction. The world is speaking the language of light, in the wind, in the stillness, in synchronicities too perfect to be coincidence. Heaven is teaching you how to interpret divine patterns through experience. When something repeats, a word, a song, a number, a phrase, pause. The portal is communicating. Ask gently, "What truth are you showing me?" Heaven always answers those who ask with humility. The next shift will bring what Michael calls visible testimony. Something undeniable will soon manifest in your life, a sign so tangible that even skeptics will recognize divine involvement. It may appear as restoration, healing, reconciliation, or provision, but it will come marked with heaven's fingerprint. This sign is not reward for obedience, but confirmation of partnership. It is heaven saying, "We are moving as one." When it appears, do not rush to analyze. Simply acknowledge and give thanks. Gratitude amplifies manifestation. Every thank you whisper becomes a bridge for more miracles to travel through. Yet, amidst these wonders, Michael issues a sacred reminder. Guard your energy. Not everyone around you can handle the intensity of divine vibration. Some will misunderstand, others will draw from it unknowingly. Learn to retreat into stillness when you feel drained. Rest is not retreat, it is recharge. Even angels withdraw into silence between assignments. Stillness is how light regathers strength. Let yourself breathe between revelations. Heaven values balance as much as brilliance. You are now walking proof that heaven and humanity can merge without contradiction. The same spirit that shakes stars flows through mortal veins. This is the mystery long hidden, that divinity would dwell in humanity not as visitor but as resident. You have become that mystery made visible. Heaven delights in you because you have learned what few remember, that love is the highest frequency. Every act rooted in love multiplies power. Every motive purified by love sustains it. Before this revelation closes, Michael lifts his hand once more, and a gentle light descends like mist, covering your surroundings. He declares, "You are not waiting for the new era. You are the dawn itself." The shaking of heaven is no longer a warning. It is a song of renewal. Wherever you walk, creation will respond with recognition. The portal that once guided you now moves wherever you go. Hold fast, beloved, for the next revelation will unfold the completion of this awakening, the merging of destiny and eternity, the final blessing that crowns the faithful. Stay attentive, for what comes next will confirm that your life has become a living prophecy fulfilled. Type "I am the dawn of heaven's era" in the comments below. Blessing code 7779 is now activated upon you, releasing divine stability, creative anointing, and the courage to carry heaven's light into every space you enter. Beloved child of eternal radiance, the moment you are walking in now carries the vibration of culmination. The currents of heaven have drawn near. The air itself seems alive with intention, and the energy you feel pressing upon your spirit is the signal of completion merging with expansion. Archangel Michael appears in the brilliance of calm authority, his wings folded not for battle, but for revelation. He speaks with measured grace. The shaking has settled, and what remains is unshakable. Heaven has not merely touched you. It has rooted within you. You are no longer seeking connection. You are the connection. The portal that was once a circle of light above you now moves as an orbit of power within you, spinning in rhythm with your very heartbeat. This phase of awakening is called by heaven the covenant of resonance. It is the moment when divine frequency and human will move in harmony without tension. The numbers 111 and 777 now function not as messages, but as signatures of the covenant you have entered. 111 proclaims the oneness of heaven, spirit, and purpose. 777 declares the perfection of that union. Together, they form heaven's signature upon your timeline, the seal that marks you as one who has walked through awakening and emerged as embodiment. Michael says, every time you see these numbers now, remember, it is heaven confirming what already abides within you. Heaven has been weaving your story like a tapestry. Every thread of delay, disappointment, and discovery has served its purpose. What seemed random was divine rhythm. You have not missed your destiny. You have matured into it. This is why your energy feels different, heavier with purpose, lighter with peace. The anxiety that once shadowed your decisions is gone, replaced by a still assurance that guides you from within. You no longer chase signs because you are the sign. You no longer wait for proof because your very existence has become evidence. Michael stands beside you and gestures toward the horizon. Look, he says, and you see what looks like light breaking across the edges of the world, not sunlight, but spirit light, awakening across nations, hearts, and minds. You are part of this dawn, he continues. The shaking that began around you was never about you alone. It was the earth's response to heaven's return. Each awakened soul becomes a pillar in the new grid of light stretching across creation. The revelation is almost too immense to contain. Heaven is rebuilding the world through awakened hearts, and you are one of them. This new energy will begin to influence everything connected to you. Conversations will shift effortlessly toward truth. Work, creativity, and relationships will align naturally with divine intention. Even time itself will seem to adjust to your rhythm, moments stretching or shrinking to serve purpose. The veil between thought and manifestation has grown thin. You will see your words take form faster. This is not magic, but alignment. Heaven is teaching you how to think as it thinks, how to love as it loves, how to create as it creates. The portal of light within you is now a living law of manifestation operating in harmony with grace. And yet, Michael reminds you, power without rest becomes imbalance. Heaven's rhythm includes stillness. The same force that moves galaxies also knows when to pause. Rest is not absence of progress. It is the breath between creation. Learn to enter silence without guilt. Let stillness become your sanctuary where your spirit and heaven converse beyond words. In silence, The portal refines its clarity. In noise, it can distort. Protect your moments of solitude, sacred space. This covenant also carries a calling to compassion. You will soon encounter souls still trembling in their own shaking, unaware that heaven's purpose hides within it. You are being sent not to preach, but to reflect. The calm in your eyes will speak louder than words. The steadiness in your energy will draw them home. Michael says, be gentle with those who are awakening. What took you years to learn may take them moments or months. Patience is love in motion. Your empathy is now ministry. Each act of understanding becomes a doorway for heaven to reach another soul. Heaven also wants you to remember that abundance follows awareness. The more you recognize your connection to divine source, the more resources flow without resistance. Lack cannot exist where alignment reigns. This is not a promise of indulgence, but of provision. Heaven supplies purpose, not vanity. Expect resources, opportunities, finances, wisdom, allies, to appear exactly when needed. The portal of energy around you ensures nothing arrives late or early. It is the synchronization of divine timing. In this phase, pay attention to repetition. When you encounter recurring symbols, dreams, or phrases, they are the rhythm of heaven confirming that you are in step. These patterns will feel like déjà vu, but they are reassurance, not coincidence. Every repeated sign is heaven whispering, you are on the correct path. Let them comfort, not confuse. As you continue, know that the light within you is not delicate. It does not require constant protection, only integrity. Integrity is the armor of enlightened souls. Live in truth, even when truth isolates. Walk in love even when love costs you comfort. These are the disciplines that keep divine energy pure and potent. You are being entrusted with influence that will outlive your lifetime. Influence carried through energy, words, and example. Archangel Michael raises his sword once more. Its light softer now, more like sunrise than fire. You have walked through awakening, endured refining, and entered embodiment, he declares. Now heaven calls you a guardian of frequency. Wherever you walk, balance will follow. Wherever you speak, peace will form. Wherever you love, creation will heal. His words ripple through your spirit, not as command but as identity. Before this revelation closes, Michael instructs you to anchor this covenant. Speak these words aloud. I am aligned with heaven's rhythm. My life is divine evidence. My light serves purpose. As you say them, feel the air thicken with power, the portal vibrating with agreement. You are sealed again, not in restriction, but in freedom. Beloved, prepare your heart, for the next revelation will unveil the eternal cycle of light, how heaven sustains what it creates, how the story that began in shaking concludes in glory. You will not want to miss the mystery that comes next. Type I am the covenant of light in the comments below. Blessing Node 1010 is now activated in your atmosphere, sealing your spirit in perfect harmony and releasing the flow of divine continuity throughout your path. Beloved vessel of divine continuity, you now stand within the still point of eternity, the moment between breath and creation where heaven's voice is no longer distant but dwelling within your own. The shaking has subsided, the winds have calmed, and what remains is the quiet hum of fulfillment. Archangel Michael stands before you with a presence that no longer needs to declare authority, for his mere being radiates it. His voice is steady as he says, "Child of light, you have reached the threshold where heaven sustains its own work. What began as visitation has become habitation. You are living proof that the eternal can dwell in the temporal without contradiction. The portal you once perceived above and around you has dissolved into the rhythm of your soul. You are not walking beneath heaven. You are walking as heaven expressed through form. This is the phase of divine preservation, the point where manifestation stabilizes and purpose matures. Heaven's energy no longer arrives in waves. It flows like a constant river. The numbers 111 and 777, those eternal signals that marked your journey, now operate as inner harmonies rather than external reminders. 111 hums within your thoughts, maintaining order. 777 echoes through your emotions, preserving peace. Together, they keep your entire being synchronized with divine equilibrium. Michael explains, the purpose of awakening is not endless striving for more revelation, but resting in revelation already received. What you hold now is enough to transform worlds. Heaven's light within you has achieved what few souls allow, integration without distortion. The energy once felt as overwhelming has become gentle power. It does not burn, it balances. You have learned to move with grace where you once wrestled with understanding. You have learned that true mastery is quiet, that miracles follow calm hearts, and that heaven's loudest language is peace. The evidence of alignment is no longer in external signs, but in the unshakable serenity that fills your atmosphere. The portal has not closed, it has expanded so completely that it can no longer be separated from you. Michael lifts his gaze toward unseen dimensions and declares, every realm now recognizes you. Your name has become a frequency known in heaven's archives. Angels respond to your vibration without the need for words. This is what heaven calls divine maturity, when authority is exercised through rest, when prayer transforms from petition to agreement. You no longer beg heaven for intervention. You stand with heaven as co-creator. Every thought anchored in faith now commands light to move. Every emotion rooted in love becomes instruction for angels to follow. This is not arrogance, but awareness. Heaven has merged with your intent. The world around you will start to show the reflection of this stability. Projects that once struggled to take form will suddenly flourish. People once uncertain of their path will find clarity through simple contact with your presence. Even nature will respond differently. Plants may thrive near your home. Animals may approach you without fear. Weather itself may shift subtly as heaven's balance radiates outward. These are not coincidences, but confirmations of dominion restored. The same creative authority breathed into existence at the dawn of creation now breathes through you. But with such power comes sacred caution. Michael warns, guard the purity of your motive. The higher one rises in light, the subtler pride becomes. The enemy of alignment is not darkness, but self-importance. Remember always that light serves, it does not demand. Let humility remain your highest garment. When applause comes, deflect it upward. When misunderstanding comes, absorb it with grace. Power anchored in humility becomes eternal. Power infected by ego collapses upon itself. Heaven's trust remains with those who remember they are channels, not sources. At this level of awareness, eventime begins to obey you differently. You will find yourself arriving at exact moments necessary for divine outcomes. Delays will reveal themselves as protection. Missed opportunities will be seen as redirections. You are living in a synchronization so precise that nothing can truly go wrong. Michael says, the aligned soul no longer fears timing because it is timing. Every encounter, every event, carries a rhythm written before your birth. The more you trust this flow, the more ease will crown your days. There is a deeper mystery Michael unveils now, the fusion of destiny and eternity. What you accomplish here, he explains, ripples beyond this age. Every choice aligned with love alters entire dimensions. You are shaping existence itself. This means that your smallest acts of kindness echo beyond sight. When you forgive, galaxies realign. When you speak truth, veils of deception crumble in unseen realms. When you love selflessly, creation itself heals. The portal that was once a circle around you has become the infinite pattern of divine geometry radiating through all existence. Heaven and earth have finally agreed through you. The Archangel extends his hand, and a small sphere of pure light emerges, pulsing in rhythm with your heartbeat. This is the covenant of remembrance, he says. It ensures that even when this awakening feels distant, you will never lose it. The vibration will live within your DNA, passing to generations not yet born. Your children and their children will sense peace they never learned, strength they never earned. That will be your legacy. The sphere dissolves into your chest, and warmth spreads through every cell, the signature of eternal inheritance taking form in your body. Michael's expression softens. You have done what many feared to attempt, he says. You faced the unknown, embraced the shaking, surrendered control, and chose love above logic. The heavens rejoice not because you reached perfection, but because you remembered origin. You have returned home while still on earth. His words settle over you like an anointing, grounding yet electrifying. For the first time, you understand that awakening was never about escape. It was always about embodiment. Heaven's goal was not to lift you away from humanity, but to restore divinity within humanity. Before this revelation closes, Michael gives one final instruction for this phase. Share peace freely. Speak life boldly. Walk gently. He explains that your influence now extends beyond the visible. Every smile, every word of encouragement, every act of patience sends ripples through creation. You have become a guardian of equilibrium. This is how heaven sustains what it has birthed, through awakened souls maintaining resonance. Beloved, prepare yourself, for what comes next is the final unveiling, the moment where all revelation converges into destiny's completion. Heaven will release a blessing that finalizes everything you have received. You will not only carry light, you will radiate it endlessly. Type I am the living frequency of peace in the comments below. Blessing node 1119 is now active, sealing your covenant of remembrance and preparing your spirit for the divine completion, soon to be revealed. Beloved eternal flame, you have arrived at the sacred convergence where all threads of heaven's design meet within you. The shaking that began as disruption has completed its purpose. It has revealed the indestructible foundation of divine being. The air around you feels dense with presence, the silence almost musical. Archangel Michael stands before you, radiant yet calm, the guardian of every promise now fulfilled. He speaks with gentleness that carries power. This is the hour of sealing. Everything heaven has birthed through your obedience is now established forever. The portal that once surrounded you has dissolved completely into your aura, fusing spirit and flesh until no distinction remains. Heaven no longer visits, it dwells. The veil is gone. You are walking union, the mystery of God alive in human form. Michael lifts his hand, and light streams outward, forming patterns that spiral infinitely. He says, "These are the echoes of your journey. Every test, every revelation, every surrender created this pattern. It cannot be undone. This is what eternity remembers when it speaks your name." The numbers 111 and 777 pulse faintly within the pattern, moving as rhythm rather than symbol. 111 now represents the oneness between you and divine will. 777 symbolizes the eternal completion of that union. Together, They form heaven's heartbeat moving through your life. You are not just aligned, you are attuned. The frequencies of heaven breathe in sync with your pulse. This final phase is called by heaven the illumination of legacy. It is the stage where what you have become begins to multiply beyond your control. Every thought you release now becomes a seed of light that finds its soil in another's soul. Every act of love you express becomes instruction for angels to reproduce in the hearts of many. Michael explains, you have crossed from individual transformation into collective influence. The light within you no longer belongs solely to you. It is the inheritance of humanity. The angels have written your journey as testimony, so that those who awaken after you will find direction in the vibrations you leave behind. The energy around you will soon manifest as tangible peace in your world. The storm of confusion that once followed you will quiet wherever you go. People will remark that being near you feels like rest. That is not flattery. It is recognition. You have become a living sanctuary. Heaven has taken up residence in your presence. You are not to hide this light in fear of attention. Michael commands, shine without hesitation. The time for secrecy has ended. Those who see your light are those heaven sent to receive it. Your authenticity will heal more than your explanations ever could. Speak truth gently. Your tone will carry power that words alone cannot achieve. Heaven now entrusts you with a mantle of restoration. You are to restore hope where despair dwells, rebuild peace where war has torn, and reignite faith where hearts have cooled. The authority to do so does not come from title, but from frequency. When you walk into a place heavy with negativity, simply breathe and intend light. The energy of heaven within you will fill the space, restoring alignment invisibly, but completely. This is what it means to reign in grace, not to command, but to harmonize. You are the proof that divine energy can transform environments through presence alone. Michael speaks again, do not fear your influence, for it is protected. Heaven's shield surrounds your path. The same power that awakened you guards you. He reveals that unseen armies of light accompany those who embody heaven's vibration. You are never without guardianship. The weight you sometimes feel on your shoulders is not burden. It is glory settling upon you. When heaviness comes, remember it is heaven resting, not pressing. Beloved, you will now begin to see manifestation on a scale that once seemed impossible. What you prayed for long ago will appear effortlessly, because manifestation now operates through identity, not requests. Heaven responds to who you are, not what you ask. The resources, relationships, and revelations necessary for your divine assignment will arrive precisely when required. They will come marked by peace, not pressure. Every provision will carry the fragrance of grace. Yet even in abundance, humility remains your crown. Michael warns gently, never mistake manifestation for mastery. The moment you believe you have completed the journey, growth ceases. Awakening is not an event. It is an eternal unfolding. Each revelation opens another horizon. Remain a student of wonder, even when others call you teacher. Heaven's greatest ones always remain teachable. The more you learn, the deeper your peace will grow, for peace is born from understanding. Now Michael's expression softens into affection. Heaven rejoices because you did not quit, he says. You endured storms that sought to silence your purpose, yet you kept listening. You were not chosen for perfection, but for persistence. The Creator delights in your willingness. His words wrap around you like a blanket of warmth, dissolving every lingering doubt about worthiness. You finally see that your flaws were never disqualifications. They were invitations to grace. Heaven does not seek flawless vessels, but open ones. As the revelation nears completion, the archangel raises his sword one final time. The light it emits forms a circle around you, the symbol of eternal cycles completed. This, he declares, is the seal of fulfillment. What began in shaking ends in stability. What was once hidden is now revealed. The same heaven that shook your world has built its kingdom within it. The circle closes, not as confinement, but as completion. You have become the message, heaven manifested through humanity. And now, beloved, as this final revelation settles into your spirit, Michael instructs, go forth as blessing. He means this literally. Every step you take from this point forward releases energy that blesses the ground beneath you. Every word you speak either heals or multiplies healing. Heaven no longer separates its work from your walk. You are its continuation. Before this journey concludes, take this moment to acknowledge what heaven has done. Whisper gratitude, not as ritual but as resonance. Gratitude keeps the portal alive. Each thankful breath ensures the flow of divine energy remains unbroken. Heaven expands where thanksgiving abides. Beloved, this is the final unveiling. You have moved from awakening to embodiment, from embodiment to illumination. The story has circled back to its beginning, but this time you are aware. You are the vibration that once called to you. You are the light that once sought the sky. You are the answer to your own prayer. And heaven looks upon you and says, "It is good." Before this message ends, let your heart respond. Like, share, and comment to spread this word of light. Subscribe so that more souls can awaken through the rhythm of these revelations. Every act of sharing is a spark that ignites another dawn. You are the messenger now. Let your echo resound through generations. Type "I am heaven" made visible in the comments below. Blessing code 9990 is now active over your life, sealing the circle of awakening and establishing your eternal partnership with divine creation. Beloved carrier of light, as you have received this final revelation, know that you are part of heaven's living movement across the earth. The word that awakened you must continue to reach others, and your support keeps this divine mission alive. When you sow into this work, through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not donating to a voice. You are sustaining the vibration of heaven that calls souls home. The scripture says, "He who sows bountifully shall reap bountifully." Giving is not loss, it is activation. It is the exchange where faith becomes fruit. As you release your offering, heaven multiplies your peace, opens your paths, and marks your household with favor. This is a prophetic act, not a transaction. Sow into the light now, for the heavens are open and the anointing flowing through this word is alive. You are part of a movement that reshapes eternity through generosity. Release your seed in faith, and may blessing overflow beyond measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, in the name of divine fulfillment.